Yeah. Clap right back on them. But they thought it was over. They thought it was over. They thought it was over, huh? It's the rise of the Moors, fam. Let me know where y'all tuning in from, fam. Let me know where y'all tuning in from on the real. Islam. So they thought the Moors was done or something. How? Y'all don't feel that energy? You see what's on your wall? What's on your wall, fam? The energy is lit because it's the rise of the Moors right now, fam. It's our time right now. Shout out to Liverpool, UK. It's the rise of the Moors right now, fam. So don't be distracted and worried about what's going on over there in Europe over there. Why are you worried about what's going on 3,000 miles away from where you at? Noble Drew Ali said, when the Moors come into their own, the climate here is going to warm back up to where it used to be. And the Europeans going to go over there. Bye-bye. You going to go over there. Shout out to Belleville, Illinois. So look, don't be worried about what's going on over there. For what? Focus on what's right here. Your nation, your government, your people. They over there infighting about what they infighting about. Really, that's our land over there. So why you worried about what they doing? Why? 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 Let's take it right here. Take it right here. Let's take it right there. You remember that pun? Y'all remember that pun? Check this out. So I was showing y'all for that beam out before it got cut off. The truth about the Moorish Vikings and the Middle Ages. We the original Vikings. All these stories about GOT and all that. We the original Vikings. We are the original people of the planet. Islam. So look, speaking of the original Vikings, check this out right here. Check this out right here. What it say this right here? It say, what it say? It say, a fur-clad, and probably Ukraine people inhabiting the southern and southeastern shores of the Baltic. Yes, sir. This people thoroughly dominated in certain districts. See that? Certain districts by a what? A so-called black Tartar race. What? What? Tartar race? A so-called black and Tartar race? A so-called black and Tartar race? Who you think these people are? Who you think these people are? A so-called black and Tartar race? Come on, fam. Who you think these people are? This us. This us. This us. A Tartar race. Man, look. But nah, people are being denial. And they won't be like, man, how was we over there? We got brought over here as slaves. How was we over there in the old times? And how was we over there able to be Vikings? Because we've been around the entire planet. That's how. We've been around the entire planet. That's how. Don't believe the TV. Know your history. Study your past. Otherwise, you're going to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. See that? A black Tartar race, so-called black. And in other districts, most likely the Western, the rulers the ruled, uniting to repel the forces of the so-called white-skinned Christians of the West. Fam, Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, the Black Huns of Attila, fam, those is Moors. Genghis Khan was a Moor, fam. The golden horde of Genghis Khan, those are Moors, fam. Huh? Europeans, listen, this is what Europeans was this entire time. They was these people. European hybrids have been these people for a long time. A long time. They've been the people chained up. European hybrids have been the people that's been chained up. That's why they don't want to get the keys back. Because we done had them chained up for a long time. A long time, fam. A long time. So they don't want to get the keys back. Because we had them like this. We had them like this. We enslaved them. We had them like this, fam. See that? The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization. That is central to scholarship on the early modern era. Robert Davis, Italian Renaissance History at Ohio State University. See, they don't want to talk about this because it will blow up their whole little world conquest and colonization story. Whole time, the Moors had these niggas chained up. These niggas been chained up damn near their entire lives. Damn near their entire lives. They've been chained up. Or they've been under some kind of subjugation. From who? The Moors. All around the planet. So they just recently, I'm talking about recently, have come into some kind of, you could say political power. Recently. Not anciently. No. Not anciently. No. No. You know, they was using Europeans. And it's terrible, but the truth is the truth, though. They was using Europeans as human death brooms. They would shove children inside of chimneys. See, this is what was going on out there. See, poor European children were very expendable, a very expendable commodity in Georgian and Victorian England. See, they used, these people was doing this to their own people though. So they was using their own, children, just like this child, these children right here. They had them working in factories. Look how young these children are. See, no one should be enslaved, for the record. You shouldn't enslave nobody. But they told a bogus story. Now it's finally coming back around like, nah, y'all was enslaved first. We wasn't enslaved. Nah, y'all was the ones that got enslaved. And y'all doing payback right now. But that time been up. Now the war's minds is waking up. 1936, Alabama. You think this dude owned the crops in the field? Nah, he a slave. It's 1936. See, they was called rednecks, crackers, white trash. Their history has been suppressed. Their heritage and way of life condemned. See that? The sharecropper pictured above was not allowed to grow so much as a patch of vegetable garden for his family's needs. This dude right here. See that? See that? On the land he worked for Margrave's brothers, lest it take away even 100 square feet from the cotton he cultivated, picked on their behalf. This dude was a slave, fam. He was a slave. He wasn't out there running nothing. He wasn't out there running nothing at all. But our people got the story all the way twisted inside out, backwards. thinking like, nah, we was the ones that came over on slave boats. Nah, that story that they telling ain't the way it really went down. Facts. Europeans were the first slaves in America. They was. We wasn't. They was. The enslavement of so-called whites extended throughout the American colonies, and so-called white slave labor was a crucial, check it out, was a crucial factor in the economic development of the colonies. Since this is Pale History Month, then you gotta know what happened to the pale people. The Europeans are the pale people. They're the black people. We're not the black people. Europeans are. So get that straight for the record. Gradually, it developed into a fixed system every bit as rigid and codified as so-called Negro slavery was to become. See, it didn't happen yet. It didn't happen yet. We weren't the ones doing labor over here in the Americas like that story, the slave story tells us. In fact, Europeans had already established a system where they were being enslaved and working. You see? Was to become. Why do you think that's there? In fact, Negro slave, so-called Negro slavery was officially established in colonial America because so-called black slaves were governed, organized, and controlled by the structures and organization that were first used to enslave and control so-called whites. What are you saying? What are you saying? Hell on earth? Hell on earth. All the lies and whatnot they coming down, G. All the lies, they getting cooked. All of the lies that these niggas been telling is getting cooked right now. They all coming down. They all falling down. They all falling down, fam. Look, what it say? What it say? Strictly speaking, the term indentured servant should apply only to those persons who had bound themselves voluntarily to service, but it is generally used for all classes of bond servants. Europeans, that's another lie they be telling. Oh, my grandparents or my great grandparents, they came over here as indentured servants. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They came over as slaves, as Slavs to the Americas. They got brought over here because they wanted to get they wanted to work off their debt. And a lot of them, the European hybrids that came over here was criminals, rapists, a lot of that. Not all of them, but a lot. But a lot of them wanted to just get away. They dreaded to come to the Americas. Real rap. It was called the Transportation Act. The Transportation Act. Hold up. The Transportation Act. Where you at? Where you at, fam? Where you at? Where you at, Jay? Where you at? The Transportation Act. Where you at, fam? See that? And they talking about Russian. Hold up. Hold up. Look at this right here. Talking about, speaking of Russia. Speaking of Russia. Watch this right here. European hybrids were also enslaved in Russia. And I do not refer here to serfdom, which was a later development. Knowledge of the existence of slavery in early modern Russia is not widespread. What? What? Hold up. What you say? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So the Russians actually had slaves over there too? Huh? They had slaves over there too? But it's not widely spread. It's not talked about. The so-called white Russian Musvitis were enslaved by both Northern European raiders as well as massive slave catching operations launched by the Mongols and the Ottoman Empire. Who was the Mongols in the Ottoman Empire? The Ottoman Empire was the Moors. So they were slave catching so-called white Russians. So you think them Russians over there don't know Moors over there was first? The Prussians? You don't think they know that? You don't think? See that? Viking slavers? Hold up. You said Viking slavers? Viking slavers. I told you. I'm showing you. We was the ones enslaving these Europeans around the world, fam. The stories that we see on TV, they all lies. They all lies, Drew. They are all lies. Because when you tell the truth, it's going to blow up the whole paradigm of the lies about, yeah, we were slaves and we got brought over here as slaves and all that. So-called black people, so-called African Americans. Nah, Europeans was brought over here as the slaves, as Slavs. Watch this. Hold up. Look at this right here. You say what? 1659. The English Parliament debated the practice of selling British Europeans into slavery in the New World. 1659. 1659. In the debate, the Europeans were referred to not as what? Were referred to not as, you feel me, Mafia? Not as indentured servants, but as slaves whose enslavement threatened the liberties of all Englishmen. 1659, these niggas were still enslaved. The parliament was still talking about them. Man, listen, fam. Remember how we was talking about the word Slav? Remember how we was talking about this word right here? Remember how we was talking about this word? Mom was talking about this word. Word origins. Word origins. Get you an etymology dictionary. It helps for real. Slaves. The word slave commemorates the fate of the Slavic people in the past. Reduced by conquest to a state of slavery. Ultimately, slave and Slav are one and the same. Remember that word? Slavic, Slavanu. You remember that word? Right? You remember that word, right? Huh? Early Muslim texts provide insights on the extent to which the Arabs identified Europeans with slavery, classified white slaves as animals, and even produced learned racist disquisitions on the supposed merits of emasculated East European slaves. Wow. In his 9th century treatise on beasts, the Book of Animals, the Muslim scholar Yahez writes, another fam, we going back now. Time traveling. Another change which overcomes the eunuch of two slaves of Slavic race, who are twins, one castrated, the other not. The eunuch becomes more disposed towards service, wiser and more able, and apt for various problems of manual labor. All these qualities you find only in the castrated one. On the other hand, his brother continues to have the same native torpor, the same lack of natural talent, the same imbecility common to slaves, and incapacity for learning a foreign language. Oh, you want a book reference? Okay. Charles Bellarmine, The Slave in Medieval Europe, Volume 1, page 213. Huh? What do you say? What are you saying? What are you saying? European slavery in early America. What are you saying? You see that? What are you saying? As late as the 14th and 15th centuries, continuing shipments of what? European slaves. They're not white people. Some of them Christians flowed from the booming slave markets on the northern black coast of it into Italy, Spain, Egypt, and the Mediterranean islands from Barbados to Virginia. Colonists showed few scruples about reducing their less fortunate countrymen. They don't care. They enslaving their own people to a status little different from that of chattel slaves. Wow. Europeans don't like each other like y'all think they like each other. They've been enslaving their own people, just like our people been enslaving their own people. Fam. Jump in the time machine, fam. You jump in the time machine and then you start seeing like, whoa, this really been going on? It's really been going on. This really been going on, fam. Hold up. What it say? Hold up. Since they be trying to get on our people like we was the ones that couldn't read, write, and all that. Yeah, okay. In the Calendar State Papers colonial series, America and West Indies of 1701, we read of a protest over the, quote, encouragement to the spiriting away of Englishmen without their consent and selling them for slaves, which hath been a practice very frequent and known by the name of kidnapping. Kidnapping came from them. Look, in the British West Indies, plantation slavery was instituted as early as 1627. In Barbados, by the 1640s, there were an estimated 25,000 slaves, of whom 2,200 were Europeans. What? You said what? Hold up. You said Barbados, right? Didn't you say Barbados? What's that? Didn't you say Barbados? You said Barbados, right? To hell or Barbados? Strong. To hell or Barbados? They ain't want to go to Barbados. Fam, the people in Barbados was treating slaves so horrible, G. It's like brutal. I'm talking about dehumanizing type. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. And then whole time, I told you, I'm showing you, hybrid Europeans have been slaves for a long time. Facts. The Al-Moroccan Empire. Europeans have been slaves for a long time, fam. So since this is so-called Pale History Month, it's coming to a closure, since it's coming to a closure, we just giving them some pale history, facts, the specific case of indentured servants, giving them a little light on that, because people be thinking like Europeans weren't never slaves and all that. I don't know what they thought. I really don't know what they thought. See that? What it say? Because the Irish were often involved in instigating and taking part in these rebellions, the so-called free white people in Barbados, who already looked down on anyone who was poorer or owned less land and influence than themselves, felt that this proved that the Irish were wild and no better than savages. What? No better than savages. This is documented history, y'all. This is documented history. This is documented history. The Irish died of heat, misuse, and disease. Those who tried to run away were often branded with an FT for fugitive trader on their foreheads. According to an article in the Republican News, an Irish paper in 1997. Fam, they talking about this in 1997. 1997, they still was talking about this. And you think they don't know? You know what they was calling them slaves back then? Look, other slaves were referred to as unspeakables. You know what they talking about? They talking about Europeans. They talking about hybrid Europeans. That's who they talking about. They ain't talking about our people. See, this is the part of slavery, the whole slave story, that they don't be talking about. They don't be talking about this. But since this is Pale History Month coming to a closure, then we gonna talk about it real fast. We gonna talk about it real fast, though. Hold up. What I said? What I said? What I said? Peace, Morse. I hope y'all getting something from this beam. I hope I'm doing some good in this beam out. So check this out. Check this out. What this say right here? What this say right here? It say, how to deal with the Irish. It was a tricky problem. For years, the answer was to enslave them, sell them, make them someone else's property or someone else's problem. Talking about Europeans now. Huh? If you thought that only Africans or other so-called black races were enslaved in Barbados, West India, the American colonies and beyond, this book will open your eyes. By studying the story of the Irish, you may come to learn that slavery is not a race problem, but a human problem. It's a human problem. Declaration, Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's a human problem. But you got people out here. You got people out here that ain't interested in that. They ain't interested in something like this. They ain't interested in something like that. You see? They only interested in what they interested in. They only interested in this. This is what they interested in. They want to read this all day. You want to read this all day, all night. You ain't getting no justice for yourself or your people or your family. You ain't getting no justice. Hold up, I got an idea. How about read this? How about read this? How about take a look at this? Ain't you a human? You a human, right? Hold up. Ain't you a human? Ain't you a God having a human experience? Because niggas be like, nah, I'm a God. You are God. But still, you got to know that Allah and man is one. So you are actually having a dual experience. You're really having a dual experience right now. You have a biomechanical spacesuit on, and your spirit is inside of it. So you're having a human experience as a God. A God. Not the God, but a God. You feel me? So since we having this human experience right now, and we're on the land, LAW, land, air, water, law should be at the forefront. Why you think it ain't been at the forefront? Why you think it ain't been right here? It ain't been right here because it will free us. It will free us. It's happening anyway, though, because it's the time. It's the Great Awakening right now. It's the Great Awakening right now. So learn this right here, too. Yeah, you said the elder Irish, they don't want to talk about early Ireland. Nah, they don't want to talk about early Ireland. Real rap. Learn this right here. Ain't you a human? You a human, right? So since you're a human, this should spark your interest. Everyone has the right to a nationality. Everyone has the right to a nationality. So since everyone has the right to a nationality, how come ain't nobody told you you got one? How come ain't nobody ever told you you got one? I got one. How come ain't nobody so-called black leaders, how come they ain't never spilled them beans? As I sip on my agua. My agua. They ain't never told that before. They ain't never told that before. Peace, more. How come they ain't let that cat out the bag? Because it's going to take money out they bag. Ooh. They ain't never let that cat out the bag because it's going to take money out they bag. Or bags. Ooh. Well, now you know. Now you know. Question is, what you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? That's the question. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it, fam? That's what you gonna do with it. And really that what it is. Straight up. So look. They be talking about your name is connected to the land, so they can't tell you who you are. Bingo. Bing bong. You gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. Our people be out here not wanting to get this information. And then if we go into something like dark psychology, we can kind of comprehend why. Why our people don't want to get this in their head. Because of this right here. One of the reasons. Because rationalization. Now this is dark psychology. Dark psychology. Know what I'm saying? What it say? It say rationalization. A man hits his wife only to come around minutes to issue the following apology. I'm sorry I hit you. You would just hit so many. This what the nigga say. He say you were just hit so many buttons and I lost control. That's an abusive person. An abusive person will do something to somebody to hurt them and then apologize to them, but then they'll make an excuse like it was something that they did to make them react and do what they did to hurt them. Now, if that continues, then that's what you call a negative pattern. That's abusive. That's an abusive person. Islam. So you see what it say? Now watch how we tie this together. What our people been getting beat up by the police. Our people been getting beat up by this system of Christian black codes over and over again. And what happened? One of them politicians, they'd come on TV and be like, well, we're going to give out some stimulus checks. We're going to give out $1,400 stimulus checks. We want you to stay inside your houses, stay inside your homes, but we're going to send out stimulus checks for you. That's abuse. You know how that's abuse? Put it together. Because first of all, they're restricting your freedom to move. Like water. Supposed to be like water. You're supposed to be able to move and be formless, shapeless. So why would somebody restrict your freedom of movement? You said Ike and Tina? Yeah. Beating on her and all that. Trying to control her. That's abusive. That's not positive. And our people been beat down so much that our people like, well, what difference gonna make what I call myself? What difference is it gonna make? It don't matter what I call myself. Well, it ain't gonna change nothing. You already defeated, nigga. You already defeated. In your mind, you already beat. You already beat. You already beat, fam. You're already beat. You're already beat. Hold up. Let's go right here. Let's go right here. So look, what it say? Straight to it. Straight to it. What it say? What it say? It say the above seems heartfelt, but could very much be the words of an emotional manipulator. These politicians, they're emotional manipulators. These so-called black activists, they're emotional manipulators. They got a microphone. They know how to manipulate you emotionally because you have emotional damage. Very narcissistic. Yes, they can be. They are. As humans, when we love or trust people, we always want to see them in the best possible light. As a result, even when they do the wrong things, as long as they come up with an explanation that makes some level of sense and tug at a few sentimental strings, we most likely will want to overlook what they have done. What? Tell me that ain't real. Manipulators use this to their advantage. Although what they have done is clearly wrong, they find justification that sounds logical and rational, just so that their bad behavior is minimized till it doesn't seem so bad anymore. And so they can get to you. They can get you to stop talking about it and move on. Fam, that's abusive. That's an abusive relationship. Get out of there. Get out of there, fam. Now look. Now let's look at current events. They done told people something like take the jab or you're gonna be fired. Take the jab or you can't go to this restaurant. Take the jab or you can't go to this movie theater. That's called coercion. That's a violation of law. Violation of law. Then we say pick up law books and not just Bibles. Pick up all the books. You want to get on that spiritual side? Cool. Pick that book up too. Read that too. Read them all. Why not read them all? We don't even know the full capacity that this muscle inside our skull can resonate. We don't even know. We don't even know the full strength of this super galactic device inside our skulls. You know that? You don't even know how much force your mind got. So why cap it? Why be like, nah, I ain't gonna read that. I ain't gonna check that out. Why not? Fam. If they saying that we only unlock 10% of our mind, imagine what's in the other 80 and 90. Imagine what's in the other 80 or 90, yo, in your head. What's in that? What's in there? So why not unlock it? The more you learn, the more wrinkles gonna come inside your head. You don't want your mind to elevate? You want to cap yourself. So you want to limit your ascension. You want to limit your elevation because you saying like, nah, I don't want to do nothing like that. Whole time though, you obey the law, you obey the rules of the road because they got police out there. Because I know not all y'all on this thing right now because I do it myself. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes you come to the light is yellow, and what you do? You finna fly straight through there. Don't lie. When that light turn yellow, sometimes niggas fly straight through there. Or you see a stop sign, it's late night, ain't nobody around, you might just fly straight through. You gonna look. I hope you look. You look both ways, and you gonna fly straight through there. Huh? Huh? Or is you just going to be like, nah, I'm just going to do what I do. You know, I'm just doing what I do. I'm just going to follow the rules. I'm going to follow the rules of the road. You follow the rules of the road. They say that was written by a so-called white man. This the crazy part with our people. Our people are trying to justify the abuse. You know, they'll be like, well, nah, you know, it wasn't like that. You know, it was my fault because I was doing something wrong. I shouldn't have been talking to the police like that. What? What are you talking about? The politicians, they just doing their best job. They doing their best job. You really think they doing their best job? Okay. Let me show you something. Let me show you something, fam. What to say right here? If the politicians are doing their best job, then why are they saying that you're an Indian? If the politicians are really doing their best jobs, why are they calling you Indians? And why are they calling you colors? And why are they calling you minorities? If politicians are really doing their best job, why are they identifying you as property, as chattel property? Look, Indian lands allotted to and in possession of Indian tribes. Watch this, though. Watch this. Lands reserved under acts of Congress for occupancy by what? Indian tribes. Wait a minute. You think that sounds good for so-called Indians, right? Watch this, though. Lands held in trust for Indians by the United States. Watch this. Lands owned by the United States. Wait a minute. I thought that was your land. Hold up. So-called Indians. I thought that was your land. You keep running your mouth talking about you got lands and you got titles and your tribe got land and you the one that's supposed to be running the land. Islam. You supposed to be the one that got the land. Are they blurring? No IGB hating, man. No IGB hating. You can't stop nothing, though. Look. So, where that joint at? It's my turn. So, said IG hating. So what it say? What it saying right there? So-called Indians be like, yeah, I'm an Indian and this is my land. Is it really your land? Because according to the law books, it ain't your land. Huh? According to the law books, it says Indian lands. Lands, what? Owned by the United States and subject to sale by it, but in the manner and purposes provided for in special agreement of the government with the Indians. That means these niggas, the so-called Indians, sold you out. And they agreed with the so-called government, the U.S. corporation, to sell you out, nigga. Hold up. What it say? Lands to which Indians have a right of perpetual occupancy with the privilege of using them. And nigga, they gave you a privilege. That ain't your land. They gave you a privilege to use that land for perpetual occupancy. They leased you your own land, nigga, in such manner as they see fit, until such right of occupation has been surrendered by the United States. What? What? Fam, all you got is perpetual occupancy on that land. You don't own the land, nigga. They leased you your land. That's what you got. They leased you your own land back. And the so-called Indian Bureau of Affairs is in on the whole thing. Ooh, I told you. Remember Trump was talking about draining the swamp? Remember he said that? What you think he was talking about? It was my turn. It's our turn. Rise of the Moors. It's our turn. It's our turn. It's our turn. So they talking about Indians. Look, what it say? What it say right here? Indian title. These are niggas that be talking real loud about they got their own land. My people been living there. No, they ain't. You're an occupant, fam. That ain't your land. What it say? Indian title is nothing more than permissive occupancy. These ain't my words. This is Ballantyne's Law Dictionary. Huh? Ballantyne's Law Dictionary says Indian title is nothing more than permissive occupancy, not a title which could be conveyed as to transfer to the grantee a title which the United States was bound to recognize. They don't have to recognize so-called Indians. They only do that to keep them quiet, give them crumbs to shut them up. That's what an Indian title is. Yeah, they be like, yeah, we're tax exempt. Nigga, you don't even own your land. You getting sold out by your own people. Talking about you own your own land. Nah, you don't own your land. Nigga, you got permission to be on that land. You got permission to be on that land. Hold up, you hear that? Mama! Oh, I know it hurt, don't it? Mama! I know it hurt. I know it hurt. I know it hurt. I need that instrumental. Hold up. I need that instrumental, fam. Hold up. I need that. I need that. I need that, G. Hold up. I need that. I need that. I need that. R.I.P. Big Pun. Mama. They screaming for their mama. They screaming for their mama. Why you crying for your mama for? I thought you said you was big dog. You was big boss hog. Huh? You was big boss hog. You said you had it. Huh? Now you crying for your mama. Mama. Yeah. $5 Indians, G. Don't go for it. Bam. This ain't India. So how you an Indian? Make it make sense, Sway. Yo, exactly. Listen, you asking for permission. Nothing, Indian title is nothing more than permissive occupancy. Oh, it get worse. It says a right not beyond that of permissive occupancy, except as Congress might recognize a right of permanent occupancy not to be disturbed. They agreed on that. Listen, this the drill right here. So-called Indian titles. People that claim they Indians, they think they up on something. They think they got their nose up, right? What it say? It say the right of Indians to occupy lands in the United States over which they had sovereignty prior to conquest. Wow. Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They had, keyword, had. They had sovereignty prior to conquest. So they already had sovereignty as Moors, but they sold out though. They sold out their sovereignty, their nationality, for a handout like Indian title reservation. You sold out your own people. You sold out your so-called Indians. You sold out your own people. You had sovereignty. It's right there in the dictionary. Reading is fundamental. Right there. Right there. The right of Indians to occupy lands in the United States over which they had sovereignty prior to conquest by the so-called white man is not a property. It's not a property right, but amounts to a right of occupancy, which the sovereign grants. And although protecting against intrusion by third parties, may terminate such lands may be fully disposed of by the sovereign itself without any legally enforceable obligation to compensate the Indians. Wow. Mama! They crying for their mama though. What you crying for your mama for? Whole time though, Mother Earth, she been looking like, hey man, I don't know what y'all niggas doing. I been here. What y'all doing? I been here. Been waiting on you. I've been waiting on y'all to claim y'all nationality. I've been waiting on it. This is what Mother Nature been saying. This is what Mother Nature been saying. Been waiting on y'all niggas to claim your nationality. Been waiting for you. But you gave your sovereignty up prior to the conquest. That means before Europeans even got here, we already had the nationality tied to the land. Nationality, nation, land. Huh? Huh? I mean, it's only right though. I mean, it's only right. It's only right. I mean, it's only right. Ooh, that outcast. What? Y'all don't even know about Cass. Y'all don't even know about Outcast, man. You know about Outcast? Get up, get out, and get some. You know about Cass? You know about Outcast? Tell these so-called Indians, tell these so-called black misleaders out here, get up, get out, and get some. Stop lying to the people. Because the people is slowly waking up. But now, muy rápido. Muy rápido. People waking up faster and faster and faster and faster. That's why they're getting paranoid. That's why they're getting paranoid. Speaking of that, how much time I got? Let me show y'all something real fast. Check this out. Check this out, y'all. You gotta get up, get out, and get some. You can't spend all your time getting high. Huh? You can't spend all your time getting high. Not all your time. Huh? You can't spend all your time getting high, fam. Look. Yeah, I rock with Outkast though. Peace more. So what it say? You say this right here. These are two Europeans having a conversation, right? And they talking about how the sellouts and whatnot. Look, listen to what they say about the sellouts real quick. He says, Bob. Won't his black leaders, teachers, and teachers alert him to our lies? Now these are this is a conversation between two Europeans, Bob and Doug. He say his black leaders, we will choose his leaders for him. And with the education that we will receive in our universities, he will receive in our universities, he will not only teach our lies, but he will defend our version of the truth to the death. And he will be just like a rat taking poison back to the nest. The Negro leader will be the instrument by which we will indoctrinate the Negro all over the Americas and the Caribbean. Wow. Hold up. He say, I see they would never believe the lie if it came from a so-called white man. So it makes sense to send their own so-called black leaders to do our dirty work. What? He say, wow, the light bulb has finally gone off in your mind. What about the artifacts? Watch this. The images, the ancient documents dug up by the archaeologists that will prove that we are teaching lies. Watch what this nigga Doug say. He say, that's simple. We will use the power of silence to discredit them, or we can simply ignore them. If that fails, we will tell the Negro community that they are in a cult. Doug's smile has been replaced by sadness. Why? He says, why have you become so sad, Doug? This nigga Doug, right? This nigga Doug, what'd he say? Doug said, I fear that the worst mistake was that we as so-called white people have made is this invention of the internet. These niggas ain't make the, see how these niggas be lying? These niggas ain't even make the internet. He say, with this invention, the Negro will no longer have to rely on free public education. He now has the ability to go online and research everything that he was ever taught. Do we do that though? At some point, he won't need to rely on the black teachers that we indoctrinate. The Negro can research the libraries of every nation on earth from his living room. He will be able to investigate every important archaeological find, and this could prove fatal in our brainwash of him and his children. Brother Lee Cummings. Strong. That's deep, more. That's deep, more. That's man, fam. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna learn, or you gonna stay indoctrinated? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? This book right here, the so-called Negro Question Part 2. Let me show y'all these books. I'm finna slide. Show y'all these books real fast. I hope I did some work, some good work, beaming out. Yeah. This can no longer be our kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? You live on the land, fam. Learn the law of the land. You live on it, don't you? Don't you live on this land? Common Law Handbook. Get these books, fam. This is what I'm showing them for. The Irish slaves. Get these books, fam. Since we closing our Pale History Month, we got to get these books so we can start knowing. We got to start knowing the truth. And this ain't nothing to be like, nah, don't look at the European as something like they not your fellow man. They are your fellow man. But you got to know your people. You got to know your history. You know what I'm saying? This ain't to look down on no nationality. It's just to recognize truth from the lies. You know? That's what it's about. Moors and Masonry. Africans, Natives, Americans. Huh? Put these in your life. Yeah, that core mega hard, right? This R.I.P. Prodigy. Yeah. See that? True myth. Moorish Vikings in the Middle Ages. Yeah. Christian slaves, Muslim masters. Yeah. That's what it's about, fam. That's what it's about. But you know.
When it comes to investing,
you know.
It's about
that's what it's about. Each one teach one. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about, fam. How much time we got? That's what it's all about.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
It's all about spreading that information, G. That's what it's all about. See that? Yeah, it's that time. Huh. It's that time, fam. Rise of the Moors. It's that time, fam. Yeah. Turn your notifications all the way on. When the video ends, turn your notifications all the way on. Peace and love to all the Moors all around the world. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Much love all the time. Teach your babies. Don't keep this information to yourself. Teach your babies, fam. Rise of the Moors, Islam.